All right, today we're jumping into Meta's latest earnings report, and honestly, it's a real head scratcher. The numbers? Well, they seem to tell two completely different stories at the same time. It's this paradox that has Wall Street talking. So you know what? Let's get in there and figure out what is really going on.
So, right off the bat, here's the big question, the central mystery of this whole thing. Did Meta's profits really just crash and burn in Q3? Because if you look at the headlines, that's what they're screaming. But is it the whole story? Not even close. To get to the bottom of it, we have to look at two numbers. Two numbers that just don't seem to add up.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the good news. And it is really good news. We're looking at revenue, the top line. Meta's sales absolutely soared by an incredible 26% compared to last year. We're talking over $51 billion. That tells you their core ad business is just firing on all cylinders. But that's only half the story. The other half? Well, it's this number.
Yeah, a staggering 83% plunge in their net income. And that's their actual profit, what's left after all the bills are paid. So what on earth is going on here? How can a company make billions more in sales but then have its profit pretty much vanish? See, that's the paradox we're talking about. Look, this is exactly the kind of thing that's super confusing if you're just glancing at the headlines, right? It seems impossible, but it's not. And we're going to solve this mystery right now. Let's follow the money.
All right, let's solve this thing. To find the real story, you got to dig deeper than the headlines. You have to go into the nitty-gritty of the financial statements. And when you do that, you find one single line item that explains, well, everything.
And here it is, the culprit, the entire profit collapse. It comes down to this one thing, a massive, nearly $16 billion charge for income taxes. But here's the kicker, the really important part. This is what's called a one-time non-cash charge.
So, what in the world does non-cash actually mean? Let's break it down. It means this isn't $16 billion that Meta literally paid out. It's not cash that actually left their bank account. Think of it like an accounting rule, something they had to do on paper because of a new tax law. It's basically a paper loss that makes the final profit number look terrible, but it has nothing to do with the real cash the business is bringing in. And this table, wow, it just shows you everything. Look at that column on the left. That's the scary number, the one that makes the headlines. Now look to the right. This is what happens when you just take out that one weird paper charge. The net income, it wasn't $2.7 billion. It was a whopping $18.6 billion. The profit didn't crash. In fact, it was incredibly healthy. And just like that, mystery solved. Okay, so now that we've cleared up all that accounting weirdness, we can finally talk about the real story here. And the real story is that Meta's core business, Facebook, Instagram, the whole family of apps, it isn't just doing okay, it is absolutely thriving.
And you want to know why it's so strong? Just look at these numbers. Their user base is still growing. We're talking 3.5 billion people using one of their apps every single day. That's almost half the planet. And what's more, they're showing more ads to those people. And this is key, advertisers are paying more for each of those ads. I mean, that is the perfect recipe for a booming ad business. And this all brings us right back to that incredible revenue growth we saw at the beginning. A 26% jump is impressive for any company, but a 26% jump when you're already at over $40 billion, that's just staggering. This chart right here shows a business with some serious momentum, which is the complete opposite of what that scary profit number made it seem like, right?
And hey, if you need just one example of how well things are going, get this. Reels, their answer to TikTok. It's now on track to bring in over $50 billion a year in revenue. Just that one feature is now bigger than a Fortune 50 company. That's just wild. Okay, so the core business is strong. We've established that. But honestly, that's not even the most important story in this entire report. The real headline, the big takeaway, is where all that cash is going. And it's going into a massive, all-in, company-defining bet on AI. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Here's what Mark Zuckerberg himself had to say. He's basically saying, yeah, we are spending an insane amount of money right now, on purpose. Why? They're front-loading the cost, building out all the AI infrastructure they can, because they believe the reward for winning in AI is so huge, they simply can't afford to be slow.
So what does that actually look like? Well, their whole AI strategy kind of boils down to three big things. First, build the foundation. That means spending billions on the heavy metal, the computer chips, the data centers, all the stuff you need for massive AI. Second, use that AI to supercharge what they already have. Make recommendations on Facebook and Instagram even better. Make the ads more effective. And third, the really exciting part, create brand new things, new products that are built on AI from the get-go.
And make no mistake, this isn't some far-off future plan. This is happening right now, today. Get this, $60 billion a year in ad revenue is already running through their AI-powered ad systems. So this whole strategy is already a massive part of their business, and it's a huge reason why they're doing so well. But here's the crazy part. This huge spending spree, it's not a one-time thing. They're actually telling everyone that their spending in 2026 is going to be notably larger and grow significantly faster. I mean, they're not just pressing the accelerator, they are flooring it. This is just the beginning. So when you take a step back and look at the whole picture, what does it all mean? It's pretty simple, actually. It's a strategic trade-off. Meta is taking the mountain of cash it makes from its current business and pouring it into this massive, generational bet on what comes next. So here's the big takeaway from all this. This earnings report, it was never really about a profit crash. No. It was about a deliberate strategic choice. The choice to sacrifice some short-term profit numbers to pour tens of billions of dollars into building what they hope is the next great computing platform, one powered by superintelligence. Basically, they're totally okay with things looking a little messy today because they are playing to win tomorrow.
And all of this leaves us with one final massive question. Mark Zuckerberg is betting the entire company that he is building the next big thing in tech, something as fundamental as the smartphone or even the internet itself. But the price tag? It is just astronomical. So is this a visionary move to lock in another decade of dominance? Or are we watching the creation of the most expensive science project in human history? I guess only time will tell.